What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys an update on our crypto mining basement. So we're in the garage, so it might sound a little echoey, but wanted to go ahead and go over our progress on the crypto mining basement. And the first step was to go ahead and upgrade the electrical down there. More importantly, something to get us by short term, and then something to get us by once the entire basement is renovated. As you guys have seen in my previous videos, I have been power capped down there. I have a 15 amp and a 20 amp, and I'm maxing those out right now. So we've gone ahead and I wanted to show you the progress. So we are out in the garage in our main panel. Grab my handy dandy flashlight here. So as you can see, we now have a 30 amp, 240 volt. So let's go ahead and pop that on. Yeah, buddy. So I went ahead and did this myself. I have no electrical background and just did a lot of Googling and a lot of research online. So we have right here in this conduit box, we have 3 10x2 Romex that'll support 30 amp 240 volt, as well as 2 14x2 for 15 amp. So a total of 5 total cables. We ran it through here, came down through here, and we ran around and all the way over. What do you guys think this pink stuff is? It's actually car soap for washing your car. Okay, so we brought it up, and here's what we're looking at. So I am going to have a panel, an access panel, go over this. This was here previously. The previous owner had done some duct work here, so that's kind of how I found this opening. But as you guys can see, here is our 3 10x2, which, by the way, it sucks dealing and running this cable. The 10x2 cable is super stiff and very hard to work with. And then we also have 2 14x2. So I'm going to have a 14x2 15 amp in my office and a 15 amp out in the living room area. And then all 3 of these 10x2 30 amp 240 volt runs will go into our mining room. So it runs in here, and then we go down into the basement there. So let me go ahead and go down to the basement, and I'll show you the opposite side of this run here. Alrighty, so we're down in the basement. You can see that there is our 10x2 for our 30 amp, and then here is actually the white 14x2. So this is all coiled up here. We're going to go ahead and get that wired in and into the basement once we go ahead and have the framing done. But this is the 10x2 that I showed you guys a week or 2 ago, but with 3. And as you can see, it goes through. We have some U-clamps. It's been removed from the PVC pipe that was only temporary, as I talked about. So as you can see, it runs all along, zip tied together, as well as going through U-clamps to support the weight. And it runs all the way across the basement here. And let's go ahead and go over there. So over here, as you guys can see, we actually have 2 spools up here. This is for once the basement is framed out. So this is, we decided to do 3 total 30 amp 240 volt. I was going to do 4, but I think that's a little too much for my 200 amp, so we decided to do 3, which is still plenty. Doing math on the fly, each run is going to give me 7,200 watts, so 2 runs is 14,200, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like 21,000 plus watts is what we'll support total when we're done with just these 3 runs. So those 2 are going to get added in the future once the basement has framed out. But this guy comes down from here, and our electrician went ahead and, come on, focus for me, help me out here. Let's get some light on here. How's that sound? It's not going to focus. Man, way to ruin that. Okay, there we go. So here is a temporary 240 plug that we do have here. So this is the, I think it's like the, what is it, the L6 30R, I think it is. So it's the locking. What that is we've gone ahead and we actually got our PDU in. Funny thing is, I worked with the electrician. We terminated this and we're ready to test it, and the Amazon truck pulls up and drops this off. Like, beautiful timing. So I was looking for one out there. There wasn't a lot that was in stock, but I did find one for a decent price. This is the Tripplite PDU 1230. So this is this supports a 30 amp 240 volt, which is exactly what we're running here. It has the appropriate plug that'll run in right here, that plugs in here. This is actually hot and live right now, so I can plug it in if we want to. So this has a lot of the C14 plugs. I believe it's C14 or C13. It's one of the, whatever the female end is. So we have a total of 4 plugs on the front, and then we have a handful of the 220. But then on the back side here, look at this sucker. We got plenty of them. 12 total on the back side. So this is going to give us plenty of power, not only for this setup here, which this runs around 1850 watts, and then also our setup here. So I'm super excited about it. I'm actually might power some of this as well in the short term, just to take advantage of it. But I can't plug in anything right now. So like, I can plug the PDU in right now, no big deal. But I got everything set up and then went, oh crap, I don't have any of the C13 and C14 cables. So I went online and ordered them. They're coming from Canada. I actually found, I can't remember the name of the company, Red Panda Mining had recommended them in a handful of his power related videos. So shout out to him, kudos to him. And I went ahead and ordered them. I ordered a bunch, like a bunch of 5 foot. They were actually oddly sold out of 6 foot. Bought some 10 foot, some 8 foot. So a handful of those that we'll have for the future for us available. But I am super excited. So within the next week, whenever FedEx gets them here, we will literally now finally be able to go ahead and run 240 volt down here. I cannot wait. I went ahead and picked up a new motherboard as well. It's a 5-slot motherboard. I'm actually getting it from a community member who is selling it. More details on a future video on that. But we are going to be breaking up this rig. We'll get into that in a future video, talk about it some more. Dude, this looks like a wiring mess right now. Can't wait. But we are going to break up this rig. I'm sticking with the wire rack and I'm sticking with the hanging GPUs, but we're going to break this up and do a rig and a rig here. So 2 motherboards, and break up the amount of GPUs on here. We'll talk about that in a future video. We'll get into it some more. But other than that, guys, that is an update on the crypto mining basement. 240 volt accomplished, ready for future proofing here that we'll be doing once we get framing out. So this upcoming weekend, next week I'll have an update for you guys. This upcoming weekend, this is what we're doing. We're framing out the entire basement as well as our dedicated mining room that we are going to have right here. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for a crypto mining basement update. Take care.